Hello, welcome everyone. In today's devlog, we are shifting gears just a little bit. This episode is different. So don't worry if you haven't seen any of the previous ones. In fact, if you're unaware of what Office Platoon is, then all the merrier, because today I am talking about the story. What I've already got done, as well as what I have planned. And first on that list is an introductory cutscene that explains the whole premise anyway.
Hi, it's me, Big BB Business. I'd like to give a personalized congratulations to David Martin on obtaining the entry-level sales representative position. As a sales representative, you have a number of responsibilities, including customer service, sales, identifying high-risk and low-risk clients, finding new tax loopholes, shredding documents, denying customer claims, and of course, having a positive attitude. But there's one thing that makes working for Jerboa Insurance Group a little different than most companies. And no, it's not just our ambitious spirit. During your time at Jerboa Insurance Group, you may encounter some of these little guys. These are called copia, tiny little office supplies brought to life. We're not really sure where these things came from or why they exist, but they're here to help. These little guys are great for filing paperwork, delivering coffee, pest control, and reconnaissance missions on competing businesses. So try befriending a few copia while you're here and watch your productivity skyrocket. Everyone at Jerboa Insurance Group is looking forward to this prosperous partnership. So get out there and do your best.
Yup, that was an in-game cutscene. I am bringing back full motion video. Remember those from like the 90s?
You're in need of a merchant who deals in rare and valuable commodities.
Actually having video files in your video game isn't as crazy as you might think it is. Game developers typically do this for important pre-rendered cutscenes. You can probably find an MP4 file if you hit Browse Local Files and scrounge your Steam library a bit. So, fun fact about this video, it's bad on purpose. Once I noticed that the lighting was fricked and I wasn't gonna get a good green screen, I decided to say, screw it, let's just go balls to the wall on making this thing look as bad as possible, like the boss himself made it with no video experience whatsoever. So we got the cheesy low-res background, the head is cropped off at the top, and Direct Cut is not a real video editor. I placed that watermark there to make it look even cheaper. And yes, those are pajama pants, it's a subtle commentary on corporate culture, okay? Anyways, remember that robotic-sounding middle part?
I'd like to give a personalized congratulations to David Martin.
Well, one day I was scrolling through itch.io, searching for copper, and I found gold. So I'm using Construct 2, and someone just so happens to have made a SAM-TTS plugin for that exact same engine. And as soon as I saw that, I knew I had to use it in my game. It was not a choice. So, in Office Platoon, you can name your player character, and you type out said name yourself. And I thought it would be clever to have the personalized congratulations be delivered via automatic robotic text-to-speech. It is technically personalized, he does say your exact name, but it's very clearly automated. Not to toot my own horn, but this highlights the cognitive dissonance that comes from the we're like a family here culture, juxtaposed to being a highly replaceable cog in a machine. Personally, I like the result. I like how off-putting it is compared to the rest of the video, but will other people find it funny, or will they just be confused? Only time will tell. So that's the premise, basically just explaining the elevator pitch of what if you had to do Pokemon battles as a part of your office job. But I actually made one more video. This next one isn't in the demo just yet, but I do have it made and ready for when I'll need it. And it explains the conflict of the story. Or more accurately, the first video is the exposition and this one is the inciting incident.
Hi, Big BB Business, here with an exciting new incentives program for all Jerboa Insurance Group employees effective immediately. At the end of each week, the highest ranking employee of each floor will get a personalized pizza party. In addition, the lowest ranking member of each floor will be fired. So get out there, do your...
And yeah, that's the plot of the game. Be better than your coworkers so that you can keep your job. But that little demo doesn't tell the full story. But I'm getting ahead of myself because first, we've got to create a character. My game is kind of in an in-between state when it comes to playing as a custom character versus playing a predefined character. The character creator itself is a self-voluntary identification form, which I think was a clever way to weave the gameplay into a narratively cohesive way. Anyways, you can pick things like race and gender. However, your player character is also defined as being a fresh graduate, a young adult, who went to art school but couldn't land a job in it because the job market is a nightmare. In fact, that's in the description of the itch.io page. Unemployment is at 42%. A fun fact, this game may or may not be a prequel to another video game I have planned called Econicalism. But that's a story for years down the road. Also, because, well, we're at character creation and selecting a gender, do you know what that means? That's right, it's time for Culture Wars! Yup, that's right, it's time to get angry because I'm going whoa! Because under the gender selection, you can choose prefer not to say, which will give your player character they, them pronouns! Tactical nuke incoming! This is an extremely big deal. It's so significant, guys. Yeah. So the objective of the game is to climb the ranks and keep your job. But how do you do that? Well, if you can't be good, maybe others could be bad. What makes you, the player character, unique and special is that you're the only one in the office who thought to use Copia, the collectible creatures, against your co-workers. You're a saboteur, a traitor, because Copia are tiny and you can send them in to wreak havoc without being seen. Havoc like spilling coffee on an important client during a meeting, installing automatic update on all the computers to make the ID department irrelevant, stuff like that. Now, to spoil my own unfinished game that doesn't even exist yet, the lore reason that these collectible creatures exist in the office is that when you go to work, things like joy, whimsy, wonder, and happiness leave your body. And through law of conservation of energy, those emotions possess office supplies and other everyday objects. So thus, the real science fact you saw in the training video was actually a lie made by Big BB Business himself. I didn't plan on going into the lore in this episode, but while I was making this video, someone commented on the itch.io page for this game's demo and asked if the copy are small, why don't people just step on them? And that's a great question. I didn't think about that part of the lore. Maybe they're magical or something. Anyway, so with the demo, I've created a sample of the micro game, but what's the macro game? The overall context, the world map? Well, each day you have a number of responsibilities to meet, mandatory battles that you have to send in your platoon into. These are battles between the company you work for and its rivals, and they're on your list of job responsibilities, so you have to complete them by the end of the day. However, you'll also need to complete one sabotage operation against a coworker by the end of the week, which you can do at any day, but, well, obviously it has that deadline. And that is the real overall premise of the story. So that's what I have planned, but what do I not have planned? The first is interaction with your coworkers. I want betraying them for your own survival to feel tragic, sad, I want the player to at least have the option to get attached to them. I'm also unsure of how much agency the player should have in the story. Forcing the player to be kind of evil, you don't usually want to do that. And if we want this to be tragic, then it has to be like a choice the player made. So I think I should include some sort of option to beat your coworkers the honest, fair, and square way, but maybe just have it be extremely difficult or very boring and tedious. So those are the big question marks I still have. But of course, that leaves us with another question. Who are these characters? Who are the coworkers you'll be betraying? Well, I'm already really far behind on this video, so I'll have to leave all of that juicy content for next time. As always, you can check out the demo and play this game yourself on itch.io, link in the description. You should also really consider purchasing my stickers if you'd like to support the channel and get a really cool thing in the process. We have designs based off of games that you already like. And the last command that I demand you obey is to like and subscribe. Did you do everything on that list? Okay, cool. You're now free to go. Enjoy the squirrels.